Hey guys, what's up? Jared here, Dex and Dice, Ramblings of an LGS owner. And I kind of just want to talk to you about the TCG shenanigans that are going on, like the actual business itself with them closing down their Syracuse headquarters or whatever it was and moving to Kentucky. Um, a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon now, even though it's I think like a 2 or 3 week old news story. Um, but yeah, kind of wanted to throw my 2 cents into it because why not? Um, full disclosure, yeah, we sell stuff on TCG Player. We are nowhere near entrenched in the TCG culture as other shops. You know, it's just an avenue for us to sell nationally. And it's the quickest and easiest way to list stuff because eBay is a pain in the ass to list things, even though eBay and TCG are the same effing company now. So it doesn't really matter. But anyways. Um, so yeah, eBay decided to shutter those doors. Supposedly because they were trying to unionize, and were getting close to unionizing or whatever, and it what I okay. So, firstly, I don't approve of unions. I really don't. Sure, on paper they look great, but implementation, it's a great way for people who want to do the bare fucking minimum to continue having a job without the fear of being fired or reprimanded and to continuously just do the bare minimum to keep said job, to maybe even go forth to being terrible employees, drop my rock, terrible employees, but they can't just fire them and get rid of them and bring in someone else who could be better, could be worse, whatever, but can't bring in someone else to try because of union protections. Like, I get it, guys, I do. Go ahead and yell and scream at me in the comments. I can hear it now. Dumb Southerner doesn't like unions. Imagine that. I also like working at will stuff where I can tell my employer right then and there if I clock in at 9 a.m. and at 9:05 I decide fuck this and leave, there's no paperwork to fill out. There's no, you know, structure to have to go through in order to quit or any of that shit. I just say deuces, I'm out, and that's it. You know. So, anywho, yes, they can fire you at the same time, but let's be honest. That's kind of the give and take with that scenario, which is totally understandable. If I can get told go fuck myself, but at the same time I can tell them to go fuck themselves, it evens itself out. So, anyways, um, and then it kind of boils down to, I'll touch on a couple of points here. Kind of boils down to economics, business economics, or whatever. Just the basic bitch version there is New York is expensive as hell to live in. Taxes are super high, property taxes are super high, and if they were vying for a 25 or a $30 an hour, wage right there, that's a lot of effing money. Probably not in New York because it's expensive, but having everyone starting at that baseline or being jumped up to that baseline or whatever, because I don't think the actual monetary numbers were ever really mentioned. If they were, I'm wrong, so it is what it is. But having a huge wage jump, increase, whatever, like that happen would inevitably be bad for the sellers and buyers on TCG because we all know that they're not just going to suck it up buttercup. They're going to pass that crap on to most likely us, the sellers, by increasing their fees from, if you're just a normal seller, 10%, if you're a pro seller, 15%, probably going to, if you're a normal seller, going to a 13%, and if you're a pro seller, an 18 or a 20%, because they're just not going to eat it. They're not. It's yay kind of fucking corporate greed shit. So anywho, um, with them shuttering and moving to Kentucky, like the taxes are nowhere near as high in Kentucky. The property taxes aren't as high. I think they're trying to get rid of actual property taxes, at the end of the year. Um, I believe even sales tax is possibly on the chopping block in Kentucky. I'm not 100% sure on that one, guys. Double check that one. But I know the whole chopping block for sales tax, like state sales tax, is being looked at in a buttload of states. So that's kind of cool. But I'm squirrels going off on a tangent there. Um, so it makes total sense for them to do that. I don't really think that. I'm not 100% sure that them going to unionize was the straw that broke the camel's back, but let's just go ahead and say it was, just because it kind of does seem that way. There's probably a whole bunch of other little factors in there that, helped, but from a business standpoint, it makes total sense. Plus, if you move your stuff to Kentucky and, like, let's say you start your minimum rate at like 18 an hour or 17 or 20, that's actually pretty decent money for in that area. Just because the cost of living isn't that high, the taxes aren't that high. Like, that's what a lot of people are failing to kind of like comprehend. They were probably vying for, I don't know, 20, 25, $30 an hour or whatever it was in New York, because I don't know, the $3 can of Monster Energy drink in Kentucky is $6 or whatever in New York. Like, you see where I'm going with that, right? So I just kind of wanted to say that I understand it. It sucks because they're losing their jobs, but at the same time, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but the squeaky wheel also gets replaced first. You can only tolerate greasing the squeaky wheel so many times before you're eventually like, man, fuck this, I'm just going to replace it and be done with it. And I think that's what happened. Like, at the end of the day, I think that's just what happened. And that's it. Now, one of the other finer points that Mason from CNA Games was mentioning in his video, and I do have to agree with him on this, is that with TCG, eBay closing down the TCG headquarters or whatever, sends a bad taste publicly for a few people. I mean, it's probably more than a few, but a handful of people that are on the whole, like, fair treatment thing, which is this, God, it sounds like I'm being an asshole, but I'm really not. Like, I get it. It's fair treatment's cool, fair wages, all that good stuff, yeah, but it has to be within, like, certain limits for a business to still be viable, and it's a really, like, razor's edge scenario you have to walk. So with that, the image that it gives everyone that, corrupt, greedy company, axing jobs to go somewhere cheaper, blah, 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 that carries over to us, like the sellers on TCG. And Mason said that he had gotten an email from someone that said essentially, hey, I buy from you a lot, but I'm not going to buy from you anymore because you're selling on TCG Player and I can't get behind their practices, sorry, all that good stuff. Very professional, which is cool, which is what I like to see. Professional and respectful. I'm not very professional, but I'm respectful. So that's cool, but Mason brought up a really good point here, and is what I was going to bring up too, is that if you're a pro seller on TCG Player and you have your pro website, direct people as much as you can to go to your pro website and buy directly from the pro website, because TCG doesn't get anything from that. Okay? TCG gets nothing. They get a payment processing fee, which is par for the course. I mean, that you can't avoid that. But they don't get a chunk of that sale, you know? So to anyone out there who is trying to say, screw TCG, I'm never shopping there anymore, I get it. I understand your frustration. But if you have a particular shop that you like to order from, me, Dex and Dice LLC, fucking Mason, CNA Games, Rob, RNG Games, Louis with Kitchen Table, like if you like our shops or whatever, like technically, I guess, punching up with saying those names, but sorry guys, I'm really not trying to. If you like supporting them, go to their pro website and buy directly from their pro website, or just go directly to their own websites. And if they have their singles listed there, buy their singles from their websites. Buy the sealed product from their websites. There's plenty of ways that you can still utilize the infrastructure that TCG allows, because let's be honest guys, it is the industry standard, and it's something that everyone has gotten used to. It's intuitive, I guess, if you want to use that word. It's simple, easy, point, click, build cart, buy cards, done, So if you still want to have that experience but not give TCG/eBay your money, use the pro websites. Take the extra 15-20 seconds it might take to track down their pro website if they don't send you something like I do in my stuff with a little QR code that takes you to the pro website so you can bookmark that shit and buy directly. Just take the extra time, find their pro website, bookmark it, and when you want to go buy cards, just use those shops. Use their pro website. Like I said, yes, they take out the processing fee, the payment processing fee, which I think is like 3% or something, but that's inevitable. That's just the cost of doing business. So you can still say, screw you, eBay, while still supporting the shops that you like to support, because you just, you like them. Like, everyone I mentioned are really cool dudes. I got nothing against them. I watch their shit all the time. I comment on stuff. If anyone's wondering, I'm the guy underneath Rob's videos that always calls him a show-off. That's me. So, yeah. Rob, if you watch this, show-off. But, yeah, so that's just kind of goes with what Mason was saying there. Like, you can still disagree with TCG Player and eBay, and I, despite what I said earlier, like, it might not seem like I disagree with it, but I do, just because, like, people losing their jobs sucks. That's their livelihoods. I mean, I think they got like a 10 or a 12-week severance package, which is not terrible, but I know it's not the greatest either, but it's better than nothing. It's just one of those things, man. It's a really crappy scenario all around, but there's an upside to it as well. If you want to, I mean, it's an upside whether you want to admit it or not. The people of Kentucky are not going to have jobs. I mean, you lose jobs over here, but you gain jobs over here. It's a great opportunity for the people in the area, wherever I think I don't remember where they were going exactly, but it's near Mason. It's a great opportunity for them to, bring jobs to that area. And I don't know, you close one door and open another door is kind of what happens there. So, but anywho, I think that's kind of about it, man. Like, I understand everyone's frustrations. It's just TCG is not going anywhere, guys. You can boycott stuff all you want, but I'm willing to bet the small amount of people that will boycott TCG, it doesn't matter. It's like you and 300 of your friends saying you're going to boycott McDonald's. They don't give a shit. That's 300 people in the millions that go there every day. So, it really won't matter. Take your, your moral stance all you want and go order from, I don't know what, Channel Fireball and, all those other places. But just remember, eBay, you can't buy off of eBay if you're going to take your moral stance on that, because eBay owns TCG Player and eBay is the one who closed that particular office. So avoid eBay and TCG Player at all costs. But use the pro websites. If the card shops you like to purchase stuff from have a pro website, use the pro website. That's pretty much the best way to do it if you still want to support your shops and they don't have a personal website to go to. It's kind of like I said, it's the workaround. But yeah, it's an interesting thing, and I don't think we're going to see a whole lot more fallout from this. It's just one of those. I think it's like a slow news week or something or whatever, realistically, and it just seems to be the thing to latch on to, because like I said, this happened like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, or whatever. But also at the end of the day, like if it's really just the warehouse and customer service and all that good stuff, you don't really need $25-$30 an hour to do that shit. You don't. I worked in the Amazon warehouse, and I did inventory management for Walmart for like a year and a half. It's really easy work, guys. You just have to be able to memorize numbers. You have to be able to memorize like locations of things, and then once that happens, you turn the lizard brain off and you just operate. Same thing with customer service. Once you've done 30 X, Y, and Z things, pretty much everything becomes just, there's no like real skill behind it. There's no like talent to it. It's just, you just deal with it as it happens. And, it's not like you're learning how to build a house or wire a house or, code a fucking website or any of that stuff. It's legit. Warehouse work is grunt work and customer service is grunt work, and that's pretty much that, I mean, yeah, but anywho, sorry. Anyways, believe that's all I got. You guys have a good one. I'll bother you in another video. I probably missed a couple of points here and there with this little thing, but it is what it is. I think I hit the major points. Just shit happens in business, man. Places close and move. At least they didn't take their shit to, I don't know, Mexico or Canada or something. They kept it in the U.S., so at least the U.S. doesn't really lose anything. Maybe. I guess that might be one weird way to look at it. Anyways, before I say anyways again, you guys have a good one. Don't forget to like, sub, and all that good stuff too. Leave comments. Interactions are awesome. Consider joining the Patreon. Links will be down below. Starts at $1.50 a month. If you just like the cut of my jib or whatever, then toss me some couch change, and I appreciate it. Have a good one, everyone, and just remember, life is not a dick. You don't have to take it so hard, and you're a trash can, not a trash can't. Be good out there.